So I was listening to the Dead and Company, or I guess it's called Dead and Head, and out in Las Vegas on the internet. And I gotta say that guy John Mayer, Johnny, finally, it seems, playing with Bobby has rubbed off on him in such a way that he's managed to really rock the guitar and take it to new heights. And I've seen them play live together. Make no mistake, there's no way in any shape or form even a resemblance to the original band without Jerry or Phil. It's as if you took a couple fingers and even Big Ben off of that band. It just doesn't sound the same. That being said, it was really cool for me to hear Bobby Weir sing those same songs that I grew up singing as a little kid. And I find myself growing tired of, I guess, I don't know. I don't know how else to say it. I just, it felt very comforting to hear those songs, and it reminded me once again of how profound the Grateful Dead repertoire is, how profound the lyrics are, how profound the music is, and how beautiful it is to be at a live show, and the level of improvisation that goes into the show, and the drum space and the variation is also so enriched by these traditional songs being played by musicians who have it down so well. And I just I love live music. I just feel like music and art is where I ought to be, and it's been an elusive dream, if not an idealistic one for me, to do that as a ways to make a living, and so few have managed to succeed and achieve fame through their art and their music. It's strange how over time music has evolved, and now it seems more than ever we need a song to unite this country. And I can't think of anything more American than the Grateful Dead. I can't think of anything more representative than our culture trying to do something better together. That the Grateful Dead tried to do. It's not just the band itself, but that spirit of family that went around with that band all over the place, is how America really should be, in my opinion. And it was nice to hear that yesterday. Bobby's still doing his thing, and they're sticking to that repertoire of a lot of those old Hunter lyrics, but it's sad when you see something that's been a bit forced into a commercial arena, so to speak. Now inside some bubble with a giant movie screen on it, people paying lots of money to see these bands, and I guess it's to be said that those who have died left us their legacy and their gifts to honor it, and as best as you can honor Jerry Garcia. You just can't imitate it, you can't fake it even. It was something just so, I just found, having experienced Jerry Garcia and Phil and Bobby and Mickey and Billy live, No insults to the keyboard players. I just feel like the band, it could use a bigger, more amount of musicians, bigger horn section, a bigger emphasis on the percussion. But it's not to be lackluster. It's just very warm and soothing for me to hear Grateful Dead music. I don't know how else to explain it. And I don't think anything holds a candle to the Grateful Dead. And like my dad used to say, Ollie, there's never, ever, ever been anything like the Grateful Dead, and there never will be again. And he was right. There's just something magical about that they did something together that you just don't really find in many musicians, bands, at all. And I feel like the 60s had like an experiment to it of people trying to have an alternative lifestyle, an alternative way of, I guess, tuning in, turning on and dropping out and checking out of society, if you will. However, that just faded into complete bullshit and obscurity in the 80s when people became rich, and it made that scene not only surreal but almost unnecessary. And then if you look at the fame that went along with the band and then all that came with it, I think the whole vibe has changed to some degree, but it still lives on, and it's so nice to see. Even though I couldn't go out to Las Vegas and experience that in the bubble sphere thing, I've experienced the Grateful Dead live in Las Vegas for 3 days under the stars while it was lightning and out in the desert and blazing hot, and in Seattle and in Florida and New York City. And I felt very blessed to have seen James Brown live, Dizzy Gillespie live, and the Rolling Stones, and so many other countless musicians from Africa and South America, Caribbean. There's too many to name that I feel bad, kind of like kids nowadays. Like, you know what? Honestly, I'm gonna say, like, if you want to catch something, go see Bobby play out west. If you want to catch the last of the, it breaks my heart to think that Phil and Bobby, when they die, you got the two drummers. But I mean, and not for nothing, the Phil shows have been on fire. Phil with the kid, doing, like, I don't know, for me they sound a lot better than what the people were referring to as a slow and go. But the last Dead and Co show was definitely not a slow and go show for me. Even observing it through the internet, on YouTube, it was great. I really enjoyed it, and my hat's off to John Mayer for learning how to play the guitar substantially better. Oteil, I think he's always been talented. I think that's great, and it's just, it's not the same as having Phil being the bass player. I remember in Seattle watching the Grateful Dead up close, and Jerry was jumping up and down with me as white as a ghost singing A Mighty Quinn. That's the last time I saw him. Big smile on his face, one of the best shows of my life. And Bobby and Phil looked to me, and I mean, it could have been the LSD, who knows, but they looked to me as if they were humanoid creatures of some kind of rare breed, almost reptilian, skeletal-like, and at the time I didn't understand that they had ravaged the shit out of their bodies with dope. And that's what that look was. I saw the how junkies look, but they had a even stranger weird look from all the weird drugs they did. But at that time, I think that's what Jerry was on in downward spiral. But they had Phil and Bobby seemed like they had cleaned up from that, but they still seemed extremely physically captivating to look at. It was just like they're just bug out dudes to look at, you know. I mean, they're regular dudes, but it was just for me, you know, as a young man, you know, you don't. I don't know. I just it just always had a profound effect on me to see these guys that I heard singing since I'm a baby on the stage, doing their thing, being unique and different, and proving to the world that, hey, this is how you can be. And that's inspired me, because I saw my mother and father being artists, but then having to go to work and teach, spend time away from their family, and not so much doing what they love, even though my mother enjoyed teaching. And I thought how wonderful it would be just to be able to paint, or just be able to make music, you know. And I didn't understand how the band, the Grateful Dead, how the hundreds of people that had survived, you know, from a direct paycheck from them, had pressured the band to constantly touring along with the record companies and the greed, desire for money. And I think a lot of the mistakes they probably made, and a lot of the weird legal shit that went down, and, you know, being a target of the United States government, you know, and all the persecution that happened to people, all the friends that I would see tackled at Grateful Dead concerts by police. I've been just handcuffed just for no reason. Oh, we know what you're doing. You know, I mean, the amount of tear gas and horses and people being beaten. And, you know, it's like a 60s counterculture revolution that was squashed out by dope, greed, hate, and evil, and censorship, and the war on drugs. And I just feel like this country, it better come together now. It better fucking rally around Kamala Harris. We better have some kind of massive concert, man. Or we're fucked. And I may be going to hell in a bucket, but at least I'm showing the ride.